his supporters be left disappointed today. He is the one that many people think has to be beaten here this afternoon. That's it, they're all in, and away they go for the Prix Ganet. Out they come as expected. Rensday with a white cap, driving to the front for Godolphin to make a good gallop, chased by Frankie Dettori on Cracksman with the red cap. Finche in the green and pink up against the inside rail, bit keen early on, followed then by Air Pilot to the outside of the filly Rhododendron with the dark blue jacket up against the rail. The German runner Wild Chief in the orange is second last, with Cloth of Stars sitting off the pace, 10 lengths off the leader in the same ownership of Godolphin. Cloth of Stars with the all Godolphin blue at the back. Completing the first 2.5 furlongs, so a mile to go from here, and Rensday is making it a decent gallop here, chased by Cracksman in second. Finche pulled off the fences third, then Rhododendron fourth. To the outside, Air Pilot for company up into fourth place now. Rhododendron is fifth, back against the rail, half a length further back than Wild Chief, and the back marker still is Cloth of Stars. Turning out of the back straight then, they're approaching halfway in the Prix Ganet, the first Group 1 of the year in Europe, and out in front it's still Rensday. 2.5 lengths behind is Cracksman running second, looking nicely relaxed. Then a length and a half, Finche runs third, travelling well, being a little bit keen and still wants to get on with it. Rhododendron is back fourth against the inside then from Air Pilot. Cloth of Stars is trying to get up the inside route. Looks a rather difficult passage through, and may have to pull out at some point. Wild Chief is the back marker. They're heading towards the home straight now, and as they turn, it's Rensday, still the leader, and now they're going to start quickening it. 3 furlongs to go. Cracksman is being asked by Dettori to close. Rhododendron's working through on the rail. Finche just a bit outspeeded. Cloth of Stars being launched from the back, but has a lot of ground to make up. A furlong and a half to go. Here is Cracksman drawing alongside Rensday now, and this is looking quite impressive. Cloth of Stars has given him a big start. He's coming home well in third place, but Cracksman has gone for home under Dettori, and that's a stylish win for Cracksman. Rensday has held on for second from Cloth of Stars third, finished well but too late. Rhododendron was fourth, followed in by Finche, then Wild Chief, and Air Pilot was last of the 7. The Prix Ganet has gone to Cracksman. So many supporters of this horse last year said he's a good 3-year-old, but he's going to be an outstanding 4-year-old. And in a tactical race, he has made the most impressive of starts to his 4-year-old career. Given a perfect ride by Frankie Dettori there, who sat behind the pacemaker Rensday. Have a look at this again. When Rensday quickened it up off the home turn, Cracksman was close enough to get at him, but nothing else was. Rhododendron made an effort under Ryan Moore in the dark blue jacket, but Cloth of Stars was too far back. And although he stayed on, he's actually been beaten by the other Godolphin runner, who was only in there, one presumed, to make sure that they went a good gallop. It was an excellent run by Rensday, but you do feel that Cloth of Stars surely can do better than that later in the season. But Cracksman has justified all the hype, and John Gosden, his trainer, I would think would be absolutely delighted with that. There's Frankie Dettori, just giving him a well-deserved pat. He's ridden so many good horses over the years, he'll know exactly the quality of this one. But not only was that a good performance on paper, but also there's something about the attitude and the way this horse moves that is so impressive. He's got a long, loping, easy stride. Covers a lot of ground, doesn't he? When he really stretches out, he looks like a potentially top-class horse in the making. And Frankie Dettori able to ease him up near the finish. And I think probably that has put one thing to bed this afternoon, the fact that his Champion Stakes win at Ascot, when he won by a long way from a top-class field, were suspicions perhaps that the ground was very soft that day. It helped him but inconvenienced others, and also that many of his rivals that day were struggling a bit at the end of a long, hard season. He certainly did seem to capitulate very quickly once he turned on the pressure. But a totally different set of circumstances today. The ground here at Paris-Longchamp today is officially good. It should have suited all these horses here and when he was asked to quicken and pick up the front runner, he did it magnificently, and he's one pulling up. Frankie Dettori must be very happy with that. Provisionally then 5-4-3-7-1. That's Cracksman, Rensday, Cloth of Stars staying on into third, Rhododendron fourth, and Finche in fifth place. Now finally a smile from Frankie Dettori. He's known for smiling a lot, but seemed to be full of deep thoughts as he pulled up on the horse, and I just wonder if what's going through his mind is that was extremely good, and now later in the year when he and the star filly Enable, winner of last year's Arc, also trained by John Gosden, when they finally meet, that is bound to happen at some point, maybe mid-season, but certainly in the Arc back here in October, maybe what's going through his mind is, I've got a rather difficult choice between those two horses, the Colt and the filly, because there's no doubt that Enable was something very special last year, but this horse Cracksman is going to be a big rival for her this year. Will he do one of his flying dismounts? I think he will, surely. For the Group 1s, we generally see Mr. Dettori leaping off the horse with his hands in the air, and I should think this being the first Group 1 of the season will be no exception. But how about this for style? It's just a moment where he seemed to jink it something, maybe one of the banners, the advertising hoardings in the middle of the course. It came at just the moment when his jockey was starting to pull him up anyway. Well, there we are, blowing kisses to the crowd. I suspect when they get back to the parade ring he will jump off, and then he'll be able to liaise with the trainer John Gosden, tell him I'm sure that it was just as good as it looked, and then they'll have to start to map out a campaign for both this horse and Enable. Now one's a filly, he's a colt, and there probably are enough races for much of the season to keep them apart. I do know that the owner of this horse, Anthony Oppenheimer, who's won many big races in the European calendar, would really like to win the King George, the 6th and Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Ascot in July. That's a race he told me last year he's got his heart set on winning that. So I would think that Cracksman would have that as his mid-summer target, but it would be very surprising if he weren't back here in the autumn to have a go at the Arc, all being well. Of course, we've got to get through the whole season first, and if he and Enable both come here in top form,